on this another edition of MDS platform. As usual, you know my name, James Olokesusi, and it's a great privilege to be here today, once again to always speak to you. I'm so excited to be here. You know, alongside of the slides, we keep popping in. You know, I want to believe that what I will be talking about today is about data analysis and strategic intelligence. Data analysis and strategic intelligence. This is one of the core areas a lot of folks have been studying, spending money to go and study, but having a bit of overview of it today, we give you a bit of an inclination on what you need to do. What you need to do. You're welcome, man of God. Well done, sir. So, having a bit of understanding of it today, will give you an idea of what you need to, if you want to study further, or you want to better go make research, more research on it today. So, okay, let me just go ahead with this. From ages to ages, the economic architecture of generations have been changing. The transition has been happening. You know, in the days where we have the agroeconomy, the source of their wealth is land capital. And as a matter of fact, that's when we call the core war to make money or create wealth with real estate. That was where they came forth. Land was the key in those days. And that's where the real estate was came forth to making money and creating wealth. So there was a transition from there to industrialization. From industrialization, we have seen the machinations, the manufacturing, factories. You know, it all depends on how big your factory is. That depends on how much money or how big or how much wealth you can create. And we move from there to distribution. Distribution age, whereby we have people like Walmart creating 10,000 outlets in 10 years. We have, they are distributing left and right. From there, we move from there to technology age. You know, I'm talking about the economic architecture that delve, you know, transited to our own present generation. So we have the technology age where we have the Microsoft, we have the Dell, you know, we have till the age. I mean, till we have them that they made wealth and created wealth in their generation. And from there we move into information age. From information age, I'm telling you, I'm going somewhere with this so that we can understand how best we go with what we are doing. You know, so information age. Then from information age, we moved into, that's when we begin to have Google, Facebook, and what have you. And also from there we are moved into, that's where we are, information age, to AI and the likes of that. Now, and that's to show to us, all this is to tell us that the companies are no longer competing in capital, they are no longer competing in human power, they are no longer competing in product. Now they compete in information. They compete in information. The leading companies are companies who can access right information and they have the intelligence to use it. You know, so that's what we have now. That's what we have. So that's what happens. So, like once again I said, I'm talking about the data intelligence and strategic data analysis and strategic intelligence. Data analysis and strategic intelligence. I believe if you can understand this core It can help your business. It can help whatever you're doing. It can help a nation. It can help you to even build a career if you're interested. But as I yesterday, an auditor was looking for a data analyst. You don't need to go to anywhere to go and study all these things. You can, if you can understand these things to the core, you can use it as a career. So that's why I want to break it down for you very well today. So now, great companies are companies who have the right information. They have the intelligence to use that information. See, let me tell you, the new oil is data, and the new refined oil is intelligence, and that's what powers great companies. That's what powers the success of great companies. You see, every transaction we see, sales reports, social media interaction, financial records, as website visits, these are things that generate data. The numbers of people that we count, the numbers of people we are able to reach, these are data. When we got data, we're not talking about data of internet. We're talking about these are raw data that we can make use of if we can fully interpret them well. So, and even in all this data of future opportunities, business weaknesses, our operation weaknesses, and as a matter of fact, competitive advantage. Companies with a better information will beat down a company with bigger factory and bigger capital with lesser information. So now that's why to say that data is no longer a byproduct of a business. Data is no longer a byproduct of a business. Data is a business asset that pivots growth, that pivots development, that pivots profitability, that pivots innovations and expansion of every business. Data, as long as you can get it. Let me tell you, many companies are failing today, not because they lack opportunities, but because they fail to see the data written before them. Let me give you an example. I give you an example like Nokia. At a point, Nokia was having 60% of the market, but they were not seeing the market trends. They were not paying attention to the data of what the market trend was showing them. They felt everything was right when they were making money, but they were not seeing that the world was already moving from the button phone to smartphone. The same thing BlackBerry, until they lost out. They saw before them those data, but they could not interpret it. They did not take advantage of it. They lost from 60% to 5%, from 5%, I don't know, to what they have now in the market. So that's what data is. Many companies, let me tell you, a great company doing well now may collapse so soon if it does not understand the trends. Where is the market going? That's why you see iPhone. Before you even say what's the next iPhone, they have told you the next iPhone. So iPhone 17, iPhone 19, iPhone this one. They are going ahead of you because you are not going to outrun them. They want to outrun the customers all the time. All right. So they want to outrun the customers at all time. So now let me give you four value chain, data value chains. 4 data value chains. Number one is data itself. Data itself. So data is a raw data. We can call it it has no meaning on its own. It's just raw data. The raw countings, the raw records that has no meaning on its own. So it's just a record that has no meaning. So I'm going to use certain illustration to record that, like we can call it sales record, expenses written in the business. Just go down the expenses, sales record, you know, it can sales expenses, you know, and countings. Population itself is also raw data, you know, and you counted people in your class, you counted people in a company, you counted people in the community. Is a data, you know. So, and I'm going to use a certain issue in Nigerian education to illustrate this data, so that we can have our eyes open to it. Now, we can say that in Nigeria we have about 18.3 children out of school. 18.3 children out of school is the data that we have. 18.3 children. Okay, now let's break down the data more. We say we have 10.2 primary school age out of school, where we have 8.1 million of junior secondary school age out of school. Now let's move from data. I said the first one is data. The 4 value chains of data. The first one is data. The second one is information. What information can we get out of that data? What information can we get out of that data? So it's so important. It's so important we get that. What information can we get out of data? So, because now we have a sales report, a sales record. After you have sold something, you have recorded everything. Those are just data. Many business owners never went through it, never checked it. They just read through and it don't make sense out of it. Then when information is the meaning, the meaningful inclination you added to that record, you go down. The meaning you are making, the sense you are making out of the data. Now, it can be said that in the month of June, our sales went up by 20%. Because you wrote down your sales record. You are able to make sense that our sales went up by 20%. That's what data is. Has helped you to really realize, wow. Then you were able to know that our sales went up by 20%. So quickly let me advance that forward to the same children out of school, of the education issue. It's not a secret thing. You can go and Google it. UNICEF is talking about it. Everybody is talking about it. Now what is the information we want to get from that data we wrote? We highlighted that 18.3 children are out of school. What is the information we can get out of that? Now the information is the fact that Nigeria has the highest number of out of school children in the world. That's what it means to the policymakers. To the policymakers, it shows to us that as of today, with this present administration, Nigeria has the highest out of school children in the world. Now, let's go further. Number 3 in the value chain, we have intelligence. We have intelligence. We have moved from data to information. Now, in your business, you are able to deduce and make sense that your business has gone, your sales went up by 20% or it went down by 20%. But let's stick to going up. So, intelligence. Intelligence is telling us that by the virtue of what happened, why did it happen, and what can be done? Why did it happen? Why? Intelligence is helping us to reason. It's helping us to reason why it happened and what can be done. Now, we have to now, as an intelligent business owner, Oh, you're not just going to jubilate that, oh, our business went up by 20%. Oh, hooray. No. That's why we need to understand these things. The question you should ask is that, why is it that our sales go up by 20%? Why did it go up? That in the course of thinking, you might be thinking that, is it that our advertisement based on the social media or digital space, is it because we changed our advertisement to digital space or social media, unlike the radio marketing we've been using before? Is that I think that's the reason. Then you'll be able to focus your resources on what works. It helps to know what works and what's not working, or what's not working. So that's what intelligence, and it helps to know that, oh, going forward, this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're going to be doing. Now, let me now go to the education issue. Now, I said the information says that Nigeria has the highest out-of-school children in the world. Now, intelligence, what intelligence are we ready to get out of this? Why do we have this situation at hand in Nigeria? According to the data and information we have received, there are several factors that could cause that. It might be economic factor, on the fact that probably the parents of the children don't have money. They don't have money to send them to school. So even when they say there's free education, they don't have money to still give them food to go to school, or buy clothes for them, or buy books for them. So you see, I can remember in my days, so there was the time in my life I used to attend primary school, public primary school. I can remember they used to give us even books. So I don't know if they still do that to primary school of these days. So, probably the parents could not even afford. So, economic issue. Now, it could also not just be economic issue, it could be social issue. It could be social issue like child labor. A parent want to send the children to go and hawk. That's the reason why they held them back at home. Or it could be early child marriage. That's the part of the social issue. In some part of the world, some part of the country, you see children being sent into marriage at age 8, age 9, age 12, age 13. So those are that's why they are out of school. So it can be that, and it can also be insecurity. It can be a reason of insecurity. It can be because of security issues, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping. Parents are scared, so they tell their children to stay at home. So that can be reason for it. And as a matter of fact, it can be educational system issue. It can be because they are they are underserved, educational system in some areas. Some rural areas, they don't have enough school buildings, they don't have enough teachers, they don't have enough school facilities in them. So that's what we can be. Now let's go to the last one on this value chain. The last one of this value chain, because on the right type question we ask question. The fourth one is strategy. The fourth one is strategy. The fourth one is strategy. Now, this is the highest level. This is the highest level. The highest level whereby having moved from data, raw data, to information, from information to intelligence, from intelligence now to strategy. This is the level to which you have understood why something happened, then you now know what sense can you make out of it. How do you galvanize all this information, galvanize all this intelligence to take your company to the highest level in your industry? this is where you get to understand what you can do to combine in the internal data with competitive analysis, with customer behavior, market trends, with future forecasts to take your company to the highest level in your industry. And this is what makes companies who are leading the leaders, because they are strategic. They are data-based. They are not opinion-based. They don't operate by opinion. They operate by data. The fact and figure. They operate by data. So they analyze, they take decisions based on data analysis. They don't come to the boardroom and tell stories. They come to the boardroom and analyze, what do we do? What are the factors that can be done? So these are the strategies that gives them what they become. Now let me give you an example of this one, because this one is telling us what's the trend the industry is going to. What do we position ourselves in the trend? What do we need to become? How do we position ourselves? And how do we catch up? So let me give you an example. You see, in America, Toyota started selling their car in America, and they were selling saloon cars. And I know you must have heard the story many times. They were selling saloon cars, and many other bigger cars like Chevrolet, like Ford, they moved to be selling bigger cars like SUV, Escalades and lots of that. And they were selling a lot. So Americans were buying Toyota saloon cars. They were not buying, the SUV. They were buying of their American products. So Toyota decided to be selling SUV as well, like other automobile companies. But people were not buying. I'm telling you the place of strategy. The place of strategy. So they were selling. They discovered that they were not selling, and they were asking a question: what happened? Is it that our product is bad? What happened to our product? And they went to the boardroom, not the kind of a boardroom that we, after Super Eagles have lost, they say we are going back to the what do you call them, the board table or round table, and yet nothing comes out. The next time they will still not go to the World Cup. So, but these ones, they went to the boardroom and they went to have a meeting based on data, not based on opinion. And they looked at the situation critically. Why are they not buying our product? Is it that our product, our SUV, is it bad? Or is it inferior compared to others? And when they analyze everything, they discover that it's not that our product is bad. It's just a mentality of the people. They believe that Ford is better. They believe that Chevrolet is better. They believe that JVS, or JVC, all those other American companies, they believe that they have, better SUVs than us. It's just a mindset. They believe that we can't get such. And you know what they did? He said, our challenge is a branding issue. And the same Toyota car, they rebranded it and put a label in front of it, luxurious cars exported into the US, called Lexus. Luxurious cars exported into the US, called Lexus. And they shipped it to US, and they were buying it. Now, you and I, if they put just ordinary Toyota and Lexus, you say, oh, I want to go for Lexus. What are you buying? You are buying the same engine. You are buying the same car. But they just branded this one, the same company. That's what data can do for us. That's what data and strategy. They galvanize their internal data to analyze the competitors' analysis, what they are doing. You have to check what your competitors are doing, and so you have to check what you are doing. So if you are not looking at data, there was a company some years ago, and they felt they were doing too much. and they were a cola company, and they came out and they were doing well and lots of that, and they felt they were there, and they were not. They lost in the quality of their product, they lost in the size of the bottle, and they disappeared. Or probably they are even there. If I mention your name now, you will know them. But let me ask you, when was the last time you bought their drink? You tell me that it's been long. So that's what we are talking about. So that's what strategy is all about. You being able to galvanize. So organization that stop at information survive, organization that build intelligence grow, organizations that develop strategic intelligence become industry leaders. So let's look at the analytics, the 4 levels of the analytics for data. I've talked about the value chain, so we're going to be talking about the analytics now. Number 1 is descriptive analytics. Number 1 is descriptive analytics. So he's talking about what happened. In the course of data, we are talking about data analysis. You're analyzing. In the course of analyzing, the first question you ask is, what happened? You want to ask, what happened? What happened? Now, we can say in your business, sales dropped by 15%. That's what happened. What happened? Customers are not coming. What happened? Our business, customers refuse to buy our products. What happened? So when you ask the question, what happened? Then you go to the second. Okay, let's take the part that sales dropped by 20%. Then let's go to the second part. The second part is diagnostic analytics. That's diagnostic analysis telling us what is the root cause of this problem. Why the sales drop by 20%? Because as a business person, you must be able to understand this if you want to really go far and become, a great company. See, why the sales drop? Then you can begin to ask questions. Probably our marketing is poor. Probably our customers, our competitors reduce their own price, or it may be because our products has dropped in quality. It may be because we are no longer serving, our customer care is bad. It may be a lot of factors could surround that. So you have to think about it. What happened? Or maybe because our price is too high. There was this woman. She kept coming, Pastor, pray. My boutique is not selling. I said, Madam, how much are you selling those things you are selling? He said, yes, this one is UK based. I'm selling for so amount. I said, so amount. And some people will come and tell me, he said, Pastor, don't mind that. It's not UK based anything. It's this one. He's selling, our prices are too expensive. Even members are running away from it. The clothes can be there for 1 year. And I have to advise her, reduce your price of your products. He said, no, I can't reduce the price. I can't. She's having stock upon stock upon stock upon stock upon. Now she's doing giveaway. I told you. See, that's why when you diagnose what happened, why are we having problem? Is it because our human relationship is having issue? Is that it? So we have to understand all of these things. So that's number 2. Number 3, having understood the descriptive, what happened? Number 2, diagnostic analysis. Why did it happen? What's the root cause? Number 3 is called predictive analysis. What is likely to happen? What is likely to happen? Now, based on this trend, based on this part, what can happen? So you have to be able to look at these things. So in the course of data analysis, you have to now be able to look at the trend, to analyze the future expectation. Okay, if we go and continue on this path, what are we expected to achieve in the future? If we continue on this path, where are we going to? Now, if somebody asks you, as I was in a conference some time ago, and the conference started well because the convener came from America, and he has so many of the American counterparts and partners there in the meeting. While we're discussing, the man just said something. He said, in the next 200 years, Nigeria can never become like America. And we were angry. Some part of us were angry. That divided the conference. In fact, the guy that took us is one of his American partners, because he has stayed all his life in America as well. We divided against this thing. What nonsense? Why is we saying that? It took us so many years or some time before we realized that if we continue on the path where we are, we might not become like that. So that's what predictive analysis based on. It's not about how long we have taken independence. It's about what we are doing on the path we are. On the path of this corruption and on selective, arrest we are doing. Selective justice we are doing. How long are we going to be to build this country? So it's predictive analysis. And this was all these tech companies do. The predictive, and this is what helps them to dictate market trends. That's why you see major automobile companies, they have a solid department called R&D, research and development. They envision the need of the customers before the customer thinks of it. That's why iPhone, we have produced a feature of a phone before you even think you need it. And that's what happens. And that's what a business person must do. If we continue like this, what can happen? Okay? The next one is are we there? We have talked about the descriptive, we talked about the diagnostic, we talked about the predictive, and now we talk about the prescriptive analysis. The slides. Give me that part, please. Okay. Go forward. So now the prescriptive analysis. This is now telling us what we should do. Now this is strategic intelligence as well. I'm talking about data analysis and strategic intelligence. The major and the ultimate goal of data analysis is to enhance strategic intelligence. It is good when data is being analyzed, and at the end of it all, it's being now. There was this part I didn't conclude on the value chain, that strategy, talking about the educational system of our children, out of school children. Now, what should be done for them? Government can begin to look at cash transfer to vulnerable families to support them, like the wife of the president is doing, and we can look at, in fact, one of the best policy I've ever seen any Nigerian, government done. That's the IMF supporting tertiary institution student in university. That's fantastic. Although there has been bursary systems, but this is very, very accessible. So, and that's what they do today, to enhance out of school children, to also to protect schools against insecurity, so that children can go to school. And so they should enforce more of the law of early child marriage, and to any parent child abuse laws. They should enforce such laws, you know, and also to encourage, you know, policymakers and NGOs to support school buildings and education in several of these areas, you know, because one thing about data is that data is like a raw numbers that infers a kind of an actionable insight, not just for business owners alone, but for policymakers as well, for developers, and for several people to use to help them in whatever they are doing. So let's go to where we are now. Descriptive analysis is that what should we do? This is where strategy begins. So we cannot begin to look at, now that we understand that sales drop by 20%, what do we do? Then we need to probably advertise more. Advertise more, you know, advertise more into locations that's high performing location. That's why you see companies go from place to place to go and do activation. Probably they see that they need more awareness. So they need to advertise more, they need to adjust their pricing, probably they need to launch a new product. Many companies have a product called Allo products. Allo products. They use a product to highlight their other products, to sell their other products. You know, many of these biscuit companies, they do that. Even banks, they do it. You know, recently, you know, some banks have been doing it. You know, so they use these certain products. They advertise that. Before you know it, people will reach out to their other products, and so that's what we are saying. That's what we are saying. So you can launch a new product, enter a new market. You can enter a new market. Organizations operating at this level are proactive rather than reactive. So let me hand off in the next one. So let me now say, how can data directly affect companies? How can data, now don't forget all those parts I've captured. The data, breakdown of data itself, from data to information, from information to intelligence, from intelligence to strategy. Then I've told you another 4 levels of analytics of data, which is the descriptive analytics, you know, what happened, to diagnostic, to why did it happen, to predictive, what will happen if it continues like this, to prescriptive, to what should we do? What should we do? Because sales dropped, then we think we should advertise more, we think we should do more in what we are doing. Now,